Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I don't know why my last video, the audio got messed up. I'll redo that video and upload it another time. But let's talk about this, because shout out to Trags on Twitter as always for posting this. Zach Taylor takeaways. Geno Stone is considered week to week with a soft tissue injury. We're already very, very thin at the safety position, as it is. This is something truly we can't afford to have happen. Now, he is considered week to week, so obviously, it's one of those things where hopefully he'll be ready for the season opener, but it's not considered day to day, which kind of concerns me. And also, a lot of times, these soft tissue issues, they linger and they don't go away, and sometimes they get worse. So this is definitely not the news I wanted to wake up to, and yeah, I'm hoping that he is okay in the end. I know this means more playtime for Anthony, more playtime for Tyson Anderson, but at the end of the day, it's all well and good, for the preseason, but we can't go in the regular season with Anthony and, Tyson Anderson as starting safety. Like, we need Geno Stone back. And if we don't get him back, we need to pick somebody else up. Maybe potentially two veteran safeties. Justin Simmons could be one of them. Definitely a situation where you already have a very young and kind of weak safety core, and now you have this. And again, like I said, I don't want to trash on Anthony or trash on, Tyson Anderson, but last year, Tyson Anderson played 0 snaps on defense. Not a single snap. Anthony didn't play a single snap after the PI call versus the Chiefs. That PI call versus the Chiefs happened, and then the Bengals benched him the rest of the year. He still played special teams, right? Same thing with Anthony. Same thing with Tyson Anderson. They're both really great special teamers, but they're just not getting defensive snaps for whatever reason, right? So I get it, next man up mentality, but we're not a team right now, especially given our defense, that we can just say, okay, guys, next man up, we're fine. Like, no, we need to do something to fix this issue. I've said before, going all in for the Super Bowl this year, and this isn't even going all in sense of just going and getting another safety. I mean, this is just like routine maintenance. Anyway, big opportunity for Anthony, Tyson Anderson, and PJ Jules. We'll get through this week and see where Mike Gesicki's at. Overall, that was what you hoped for from Lucas Patrick and Dylan Fairchild. We'll see if the offense play time gets dialed back against Washington. Okay, so this is the stuff that really irks me. We'll see if the offensive play time gets dialed back against Washington. Zach Taylor last week kept saying over and over again, Washington, August 18th, that's when he's going to want to play these guys as much as possible. That's when we're really going to start to see these guys. That's when we're going to see a lot more playtime. And now he's changing his tune, saying, well, we might dial it back. I understand. Okay, here's what I'll say. I understand the concept of they look so good versus the Eagles. They look so good versus the Eagles' second team. And I'm not saying it's about Joe or about Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or, whoever. I'm saying it's more about the offensive line. And again, I have to redo the offensive line video. But I want to see as many reps as possible from Lucas Patrick on that offensive line. Fairchild looked great, but I want to see more reps from him. There are certain guys I want to see more reps from. I know Joe Burrow is going to be great. I know T. Higgins, Jamar Chase is going to be great. I want to see some reps from Noah Fant. That's another guy I really, really would like to see more reps from. Taj Brooks, I want to see more reps from. I want to see him on the field more. There's just guys I want to see out there. And I know, again, you don't want to play the stars too much in preseason because obviously Geno Stone's a good example of that. But still, I don't like when he doubles back. Chris Jenkins continues to rise in his role on the Bengals defense. out of, I think it was 15 snaps last week, he was a dominant force on at least 7 of them, which is insane. No real criteria looking for in the right guard battle. 6 more processes to address Fairchild and Volson. I mean, there really isn't any addressing that. Like, Fairchild's the starter. He looked amazing in preseason. He looked amazing during training camp. He's a 3rd-round draft pick. Like, Fairchild's a starter. Cordell Volson, no. Not a chance in bloody heck. Now, again, that's what I said before about signing a guard. You don't like your depth because if Fairchild goes down, God forbid, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, who's your backup if Fairchild goes down? Cordell Volson. You got to have plan B. And our plan B is a Timu plan B. Cody Ford could get some playtime at tackle position. Makes sense. I'm surprised they haven't already done that because Cody Ford, they love moving him around. He's a Swiss Army knife. At this point, though, I will say, because, after the first week, what's his name? Jalen Rivers looks so bad. And I know a lot of people will comment down below and say, well, moving the guard. Moving the guard. You move the guard is going to fix the problems. He's actually better at guard. Which, again, I think, I'm assuming they're going to do that. But that might fix some issues. He might get better at guard. But I think they just really want to see him at the backup tackle position. Because they might already know how good he is at guard and they like him at guard. But they just want to see if he can also be tackle. Offensive line, back end spots. Offensive line, back end spots. Very open, nothing set in stone. Yeah, I fully agree with this. Again, the depth on the offensive line is what scares me the most. It's like, I like our starters. Lucas Patrick, Cody Ford. I'm kind of iffy about that. But I like the rest of our starters. It's just after you get past the starters, do you have players that you feel comfortable that are going to be able to play at a high level? That's the question. Would love to get Seth McLaughlin sometime at center and on the offensive line, but consider day-to-day off of the Achilles. Put Matt Lee in the same category. That's another thing. And I know we've been preaching about this for how long at this point? Putting Matt Lee at center, moving Teddy K to guard. I don't know. Just maybe it just doesn't work, and they just know it doesn't work. I just feel like there's always a chance you could do something like that. Putting Shabar Stewart in rotation with the ones will happen over time. Yeah. He has to earn the snaps, and I think that's really what that comes down to. He has to earn the snaps, but it's funny because do I think Miles Murphy has earned the snaps? Absolutely no. He hasn't really shown he's on the snaps. Hopes we'll be able to get to through this week with Dax Hill and see if he's ready for Washington. Same Cam Taylor-Britt. Biggest issue again already. Again, our secondary really coming off injuries last year. Young needs better communication. We're talking about more injuries, and that's the scariest thing. Biggest issue on defense was operational, lining up with correct numbers of players on line of scrimmage, offensively, getting set before motion sets, a number of things we have significantly better at, lining up on field goal block, not hitting the center. All these things has nothing to do with our opponent. No, that's coaching. That right there, buddy, that's all coaching. I'm confused. What is this statement supposed to mean? Because everything you're saying here is saying that the coaches are not doing their job. All this should never happen. Just a little side note. Lining up with the correct number of players on the line of scrimmage. If you can't get that every single time correct, the amount of players on the line of scrimmage, you're getting fired. Fire them. Because that's like the most basic principle. Okay, guys, 11 guys on the line of scrimmage. Or whatever it is. Instead of players on the line of scrimmage. There you go. Go out there. That's what we're going to do. Like, that's very, very, that should be second nature. That's not even the question you think about. Like, all right, guys, we're calling this play. Okay, cool. Everyone on that field should know. 3 guys on the line of scrimmage, 2 guys here, 2 guys here. Like, that's just automatic. That's automatic. And I know some of these guys, like, well, some of these guys are rookies. Some of these guys are backups. Some of these guys are undrafted guys. But, again, you got to get that up to speed. Like, and they say about lining up on field goal blocks and not hitting the center. This is stuff they got to know. You know, at some level, they've definitely played throughout their careers, these players. They have played high school, college, NFL. The NFL is different, right? Obviously, it's a lot harder, faster game speeds. But at the same time, the nutshell is the same. How many guys line up on the line of scrimmage, right? That is something that is told to a player when they're in high school, when they're in Pee Wee football, when they're in, college, NFL. That's stuff that you should already just get down. You should master, get down with that. And again, this is not like the first day of training camp. We're, a couple weeks into training camp now. We're after one full game of preseason football. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to be that guy, but like that, there's no excuse for that. If you go out there and you're like, oh, wow, we had the wrong number of guys out here. Like, there's a coaching problem because that needs to be disciplined. That needs to be ingrained in these players' heads. Is it a player's fault? Yes. Is it a player's fault for not knowing and messing up? But the coaches need to get that guy up to par. The coaches need to get that guy, mentally out there correctly. And if they can't, and they say, hey, listen, we can't, this guy just, he's a dum-dum, then get rid of him. Right? If you can't get that guy to a point where he knows exactly, don't hit the center, line up on the field goal block right, do this, do that, get rid of him. Because if you can't do the most basic football operations, there's just nothing you can do there. There will be a walk. That's something I've not heard of any other team having that issue. Like, that is an issue where if you told me, hey, list off 100 issues that you potentially would think is a problem with the team. Saying, well, I don't think the guys know how many players to line up correctly. That's an issue I would never think would be an issue. Again, it is what it is. Noah Fant is getting a break with trainer Matt Summers and a towel around his neck. Oh, don't do it. Don't do me like this. Okay. Geno is hamstring tweak 3 plays into Thursday. It's something that's minor, nothing crazy. Okay. Listen, I hope it is. Hot day padded practice Saturday. Lasted just 90 minutes, including a walkthrough. Geno Stone dealing with a minor hamstring tightness that doesn't believe to be serious. BJ Hill side of the process. That's not surprising. It's, after the game. Cody Ford spent time as the second team right tackle. Jalen Rivers moved inside the guard with the second team offense. Let's go! I'll take that all day, every day. Joe Burrow had a nice touchdown pass to Noah Fant after a rush pickup. Safety P.J. Jewell with some time at high safety on a second unit. D picks off Jake Browning on practice pass for Mitchell Tinsley. What's funny is I would sit here and be like, wow, good job. I'm really happy for Jewell. But we watched Jake Browning last week in the preseason game. I don't know if I should be happy for Jewell or I should just be like, Jake, not again, Jake. Watching Jake Browning in that preseason game was cruel and unusual punishments. Joe Burrow finished his final drive by converting a 4th and 12 to T. Higgins. 2 plays later, find Jamar Chase for a touchdown. Outracing D to the front pylon. That's not fair. We don't have a secondary, Joe. Stop bullying us. Cam Taylor-Britt's not out there. Dax Hill's not out there. Now Geno Stone is hurt. We don't have a secondary. You're bullying the disabled kid. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but you're going against a defense that is, battered and injured. Defensively, Shamar Stewart saw more reps with the first team on the edge. Cam Taylor, Dax Hill, and Marco Wilson returned in practice. Anthony and Battle as safeties. TJ Slayton has a nice bat down as Burrow passed across the middle in early 11s. Poison Ivy is second unit. And by me saying I shouldn't say that, the disabled kid would actually play better. Anyway, I'm joking. Although, can we get that disabled kid on defense? Joseph Asai was dressed but did not participate. Zach Taylor said a few players dealing with a soft tissue issue, playing is safe. Bengals return to normal schedule Sunday. Practice 10 noon. Okay. I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to overreact to this stuff. I'm not going to look at this and say, I'm scared. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I am. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not scared. I'm like, here's what I'll say, right? A horror movie, the very end of a horror movie, right? And they shoot the villain, right? They shoot the monster, whatever. And they shoot him one time, right? And he's on the ground. And they don't double tap him, right? Because, horror movies, logic is just like watching Poison Ivy try to cover someone. It isn't there. Okay, I'm joking about that one. I love Poison Ivy. I really do. He had a bad game last week, but I love him. And they don't double tap him, right? And double tap pretty much just means, back, little boo-boos to the monster. They don't do it, right? They're like, oh, we got him one side. We're good. We're going to walk away now. That's where I'm at when it comes to the secondary right now. That's how I feel with the secondary. I'm the guy in the back corner, okay? I'm the final girl, right? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, no, I'm not the final girl. I'm the second to final girl. Final girl always survives the horror film, but there's every other girl in that movie dies. I'm the second to the final girl, right? And I'm deciding here if I'm the final girl or not. That's how I feel. I'm like, hey, let's just double tap that one. And they're like, oh no, he's good. And I'm like, you positive? Because I watched Jake Browning last week, and that was the real monster. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. That was cool and unusual punishments. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.